everyone. We're going to complete each statement with less than, greater than, or equal and explain. We're using the Hinge theorem to complete the statements. So this is the Hinge theorem. All right, so also these are supposed to be angles. So just so you know, it's just a little misprint here. All right, so we'll get started. Let's start with number 1. We have these two sides are congruent. These two sides are congruent. These two sides are congruent, and then these two sides are congruent. So according to the Hinge theorem, when you have two sides congruent to each other on the triangles, and this is your included angle, then you look at the side opposite to see, since we're doing the angles, this is actually the converse of the Hinge theorem because we're given the sides. So since this side is smaller than this side, that means this angle is smaller than this angle. This would be the larger one. This would be the smaller one. So our measure of angle 1 here is larger than our measure of angle 2. Now let's try this one. Here are your congruent sides of the triangle. Again, we're using the converse. Since we have an included angle between the two sides, then we're going to look at the side opposite and determine it. So since 29 is smaller than 31, the angle is going to be smaller. So the 1 is going to be smaller and 2 is going to be larger. So the measure of angle 1 is going to be smaller than the measure of angle 2. So let's write this as greater and this is smaller or less than. Now let's look at this one. These two sides are congruent. We also know that this side is congruent to itself. So our included angles are 1 and 2. So using a converse of the Hinge theorem, the smaller side goes with the smaller angle. The larger side goes with the larger angle. So measure of angle 1 is larger or greater than the measure of angle 2. Now the final one is this one, and this one's the Hinge theorem. You have these two sides are congruent, and these angles are congruent. Where's A, B, C, D? So this must be A, B, and this must be D. All right. So we know by our vertical angles theorem, these should be the same, that these two angles are congruent. So the sides across from them must also be congruent. So AB must equal CD. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.